Welcome and good evening, you wonderful dice of all alignments. I am Lunar D8, and I'm going to be reading a book called The Everything Classical Mythology Book. It's about Greek and Roman gods, goddesses, heroes, monsters, from Ares to Zeus. So, I'm just going to read the introduction. The episode of Ow, I bit myself. Oh dear. Ow. I suppose I should read the foreword, I guess. Dear reader, having a deep-rooted love of literature, it is only natural that classical mythology takes place among my passions and interests. Speaking of which, there's a picture of Medusa on the screen. If you have any interest in literature or art whatsoever, it is advisable to have a solid foundation in classical mythology to fully appreciate and understand these mediums of expression. Indisputably, the myths of ancient Greece and Rome influence and inspire the literature and artists of the Western world. But this knowledge and groundwork is merely an added bonus. What matters most are the myths themselves. While academia has its own numerous reasons for the study of classical mythology, I advise you to look at it from a non-academic standpoint. I think that first and foremost you should derive enjoyment from the myths. Once you are won over, and you undoubtedly will be, you can take your time to explore the myths as you see fit. Classical mythology offers something for everyone. Whether you're interested in romance, drama, tragedy, war, monsters, or vengeance, the myths are so very rich in excitement, intrigue, and imagination that it is hard to dispute their appeal. Read on, and you won't be disappointed. Sincerely, author of the book. Not going to bother reading the table of contents. I felt like I needed to roll a fucking sanity check reading it for the Call of Cthulhu book. Yes, I'm looking at you, book. Right past my jar of buffalo blue cheese nacho dip. I'm not reading the table of contents. I'll read the introduction. What do you know about classical mythology? You know it's important. Everyone knows it's important. But why? How can stories created more than 2,000 years ago possibly influence your life? Just wait, you'll see. If you haven't yet formally been introduced to classical mythology, now is the perfect time to come. Allusions to Greek and Roman mythology are everywhere today. Look around you. Billboards, museums, and libraries are just a few of the places that have welcomed the ancient myths. Perhaps you can think your only encounter with classical mythology so far was that stressful 6-week crash course in high school, followed by the traumatic final exam that held the power to make or break your GPA. But that isn't true. You have had a direct connection with mythology your entire life, regardless of whether or not you studied it in school. For instance, did you know that many names for plants and animals were taken directly from Greek and Roman mythology? These words we use every day help create that invisible link. There's no doubt about it. Classical mythology surrounds us. It fills us. Yes, it may be thousands of years old, but it is alive and throbbing. God damn it! Okay, the word says thriving, but I said throbbing. I feel like they have different meanings. Okay, but it is alive and thriving today. Though it is no longer considered a religion, mythology is useful in other forms. All mediums of Western art have incorporated the characters and scenes of classical mythology, like this one. Allusions are made by public speakers all the time. My entire channel does that. Not necessarily Greek mythology, but allusions. And I mean, it's with the letter A. Basically, it means reference. My whole life is a fucking JoJo reference. That's like everything on this channel, I'm making jokes all the time. It's a comedy channel. Movies, cartoons, and theater, or works of art like the one you're seeing here on the screen, viewer, have all tried to capture the passion and the drama of the ancient myths. As you read through these captivating myths, consider their characters and scenes, and then take a look around. Your eyes will be opened to many colorful analogs. Analogies. It says analogies. And inside jokes. Yep, that sums up the thumbnail. Inside joke. Present in today's world that pay tribute to the beliefs of the ancient world. This foundation will help to heighten your appreciation of all forms of Western art, including literature, sculpture, it says sculpture, and even advertising. There's more. To that, turn the page. Of course, classical mythology also allows us a sneak peek into the everyday lives of the ancient Greeks and Romans. If you enjoy history, mythology is a fun, interesting way to learn about culture, beliefs, and religious rituals of these people. Woven into the myths are clues as to how these people lived and what was important to them. If you fancy science and origins, the myths are sure to intrigue you. You will find meaning behind the names of planets, animals, constellations, and plants. Even today, we look to mythology to give names to our spacecraft, such as Apollo, Mercury, and Zeus. The ancient Greeks and Romans used mythology to explain the mysteries of nature that, that weren't able to be explained using the technology of the day, providing an interesting look at how the ancients were able to answer those broad and fundamental questions that every society must answer. Classical mythology can be a pretty intimidating subject. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. What you have to keep in mind is that, regardless of all the intellectual hoopla associated with the Greek and Roman mythology, what it all boils down to are just good old fashioned stories. And who doesn't love a good story? Consider classical mythology to be one huge book with hundreds of chapters nestled between its covers. Each chapter can stand alone as its own intriguing story, or can be combined with others to create one of the most awe-inspiring, fantastic tales ever told. We'll call that a video. Hope everyone out there had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.